The bloodline that changed racing pigeons forever and why everyone wants one. What if I told you one pigeon could change the direction of modern sprint racing? Not because it sold for the most money, not because it had the prettiest pedigree, but because it proved itself where every great racing pigeon must in the race basket. Today, almost every serious pigeon fancier has heard the name Kittel. You'll find it in auction catalogs, champion pedigrees, breeding advertisements, and lofts from Belgium to China, South Africa, the United States, and beyond. But here's the real question. Why? Out of the millions of racing pigeons bred over the last century, why is everyone still talking about this one? Was Kittel truly one of the greatest sprint pigeons ever to fly? Or did brilliant marketing turn a champion into a legend? To answer that, we have to travel to Belgium, because long before One Loft Racing became a worldwide business, before million-dollar auctions, before social media made famous pigeons even more famous, Belgium was already the center of the racing pigeon world. For generations, the country's best breeders competed every weekend. Entire bloodlines were created through ruthless selection. If a pigeon couldn't perform, it didn't stay. Winning once wasn't enough. A great pigeon had to prove itself over and over again, and a truly legendary pigeon had to do something even harder. It had to reproduce greatness. That's the standard every breeder chased. And that's the world Dirk van den Bolk lived in. Unlike many breeders who relied on buying famous pigeons, Van den Bolk focused on building a family through careful selection. His breeding loft wasn't built overnight. It was built over years of testing, racing, and keeping only the pigeons that consistently proved themselves. Eventually, that work produced one of the most important foundation pairings in modern sprint racing, Dakota Road and Olympic Rosita. To understand Kittel, you first have to understand these two pigeons. Dakota Road became one of the key breeding cocks in the Van den Bolk loft. Olympic Rosita was far more than just another successful hen. She earned recognition as the first Olympiad ace bird at Nitra, and also finished 4th National KBDB Sprint Ace Bird in 2012, proving herself against elite competition before she ever became a breeder. When those two familo, they produced a youngster carrying generations of carefully selected sprint genetics. His band number was BE3-613983. His name was Kittel. At the time, nobody knew they were looking at one of the most influential sprint pigeons of the modern era, because pedigrees don't win races. Performance does. As a young pigeon, Kittel entered the fierce Belgian sprint competition. Thousands of pigeons competed every week. Margins between victory and defeat were measured in seconds. One mistake, one bad decision, one change in the wind, and your season could be over. That's why consistency is so highly respected. Anyone can get lucky once. Champions prove themselves repeatedly, and that's exactly what Kittel began doing. Week after week, his name kept appearing near the very top of the race sheet. Then came the performances that changed everything. Kittel won first against 2,089 pigeons, then first against 1,792 pigeons. He followed that with second against 2,023 pigeons, third against 2,443 pigeons, fourth against more than 2,200 pigeons, and ninth against 1,934 pigeons. Even more impressive, on 2 separate occasions, he recorded the fastest time against fields exceeding 17,000 and 25,000 pigeons, highlighting just how exceptional his sprint performances were. These we ents. They formed one of the most remarkable sprint seasons Belgium had seen. By the end of 2013, Kittel had officially been crowned first national KBDB Sprint Ace Bird, one of the most prestigious sprint titles in Belgian pigeon racing. He also earned first provincial KBDB Ace Bird and finished as one of the top ace pigeons in European competition. Who bred this pigeon? Where did these genetics come from? And perhaps the most important question of all, could another Kittel be bred? At first, many believed Kittel would simply become another famous racer remembered for an incredible season. History had seen plenty of those. Great racers often disappear after retirement. Some never produce another winner. Others fail to pass on the qualities that made them special. So what happened next shocked the pigeon world. Because Kittel's greatest races may not have happened in the sky at all. They happened inside the breeding loft. And that's where his legend truly began.